Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI No.
Aloha, I'm Tyler Bright, a 2018 HIKI No graduate from Waiena High School in West Oahu. Early last fall, I had the honor of being included in a HIKI No Class of 2018 special, in which fellow graduates and I discussed our post-high school, post-HIKI No plans. The plans I had mentioned in that episode have come to be. I am currently a full-time student at Chaminade University in Honolulu, majoring in biology in hopes of becoming a canine rehabilitation therapist or a physical therapist. My experience as a HIKI No student has really helped in my transition to college. As a university student, it is very important to build relationships with professors and peers. Because of my HIKI No experience, I'm so used to meeting new people that getting to know my professors and peers have not been a problem. And now that I have transitioned from a HIKI No creator to a HIKI No viewer, I found many of the stories I watched this season to be a tremendous source of inspiration to me. In light of this, I'd like to share with you some of the most outstanding and inspiring HIKI No stories from the winter quarter of the 2018-2019 school year. You know, I've always found stories about people who form family groups outside of the home setting inspiring, because they show that the concept of ohana knows no physical or social boundaries. The following feature is that kind of story. It also inspired me to want to do more with my life. You'll see what I mean when you find out what the hero of this story has accomplished. From Maui High School in Kahului, here is a spark from within.
I'm a welder, and what that is I put things together through hot flames, and I put so much effort into it that it just relaxes me. My mind is empty. It's just a calm place.
This tranquility is something 17-year-old Maui High School senior John Fabella has been searching for all his life.
His mother passed away when he was 7, and his father was deported. So when he started with me in 6th grade, he was really insecure. He'd have tantrums and he'd run out of the room and stuff.
It really affects you as a person. You grow up faster, you make your own shelter around you, you make your own bubble.
Luckily, one person who did get in was his former teacher and Maui Waena robotics advisor, Mrs. Jennifer Suzuki.
So I didn't want to give up on him because I felt like too many people had already given up on him or he had lost too much.
Suzuki replaced his emptiness with camaraderie and competition. She convinced John to join her robotics team.
So it gave him that sense of purpose, and he needed that. He didn't have a real strong family, so now he does.
Through long practices, this team became John's support system.
I made family through robotics. I made that family. It's not the family that was given to me. Those my friends now are my brothers. You know, my sisters now, they help me every single day, and they push me further. Stop. Go. People think robotics isn't a sport because it's not a physical aspect, but what makes robotics unique is we as students, we as kids, teenagers, we coach ourselves.
And that's it for autonomous.
That's the best part about it, because robotics, we're the ones doing all the work. We're making the runs, we're making the plays.
Now a team captain, John has built a new sense of leadership and confidence.
As a person that grew up with a lot of self-doubt, a lot of anger, robotics was a perfect way to actually unleash things and create something beautiful from my mind and my creativeness. Now I feel more self-confident about myself and I know more about myself.
The confidence John acquired after 7 years of robotics gave him a brighter outlook on life. Next year, he plans to go to college and major in mechanical engineering.
Despite me back then thinking that I wouldn't be here right now, building robots, designing robots, and actually going to a college, you know, for that aspect, you know, it makes me super happy.
I think that robotics helped him focus and find something he was good at and really work hard so he could prove to himself, and that kind of spread in everything in his life.
If I can go see my little self, my 6th grade self, I'll be like, hey, kid, never say never, because things happen every single day that you can change yourself.
This is Hannah Okamoto from Maui High School for HIKI No.
I found this next piece very uplifting because I totally empathize with the heroine in the story, who is struggling with one of the most common issues for teenage women, self-esteem. How she was able to overcome this daunting issue and excel in her sport was truly inspiring to me. From my alma mater, Waena High School in Oahu, here is The Waiting Game.
Go. Go, 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 go. Nice. Try put that leg down. Leg. I have a tendency to just grab them and yank
For
them.
Kelly Spencer, this is where she belongs. Kelly comes from a family of wrestlers, 3 generations to be exact. All boys, except for her.
So that's you're really gonna have to get grip on that knee, and you're gonna have to really drive.
It's that drive which led her here, putting in some extra work with her teammates at their coach's home in Waianae.
This year, I'm planning on wrestling 127 or 132.
That's something she never thought she would say. Throughout her freshman year, Kelly was constantly ridiculed for her size.
Emotionally, that broke me a lot. They would say like, oh, you're fat, you're ugly. They would send me pictures of like other animals, and then they would put my picture next to the picture of the animal. I guess it's just not something that you would want to hear people say about you. That kind of lowers your self-esteem. I didn't find myself as having the perfect body. When I first stepped foot on the scale, I seen I was like 200 flat, so that's what kind of like triggered my head, like, oh, I don't want to be overweight.
What do you think?
So she jumped at the opportunity.
Kelly is not a person that take things lightly. When she put her mind to it, she puts her mind to it, you know.
Double practices, eating healthier, working out were all just the first steps.
She actually went to see a nutritionist when she was growing up because of her weight.
Head out, hold it, hold it. All right, good job.
After 1 year and 70 pounds later,
I never quite realized how fast I was losing the weight.
She is an inspiration to all of us, even our boys that, you guys saw our boys, they're top shape, but Kelly keep them in check, you know. They like wrestle, she wrestle them.
When Kelly first tried out, she was at the heavyweight weight classes. She's a lot closer to that 11%, which means she's not carrying around that extra weight. Oh, she's a lot stronger today. She's down to her body weight that she should be at. She works out religiously. She'll be fine.
honesty can be a brutal teacher, but Kelly seems as though she's ready to start giving lessons.
I didn't lose the weight because of the bullies. I mainly lost the weight because of myself. You have to learn how to love yourself before you can accomplish anything in your life.
This is Jillian Jeremiah from Waena High School for HIKI No.
Good job!
What's inspiring about this next story is the courage that a married couple showed in sharing their memory of a past tragedy in their lives that was triggered by the horrendous pedestrian fatalities in Kaka earlier this year. Even more inspiring was the fact that their daughter, a HIKI No student on the crew, had the courage to help tell her family's story as the interviewer and camera person. From Kalāheo High School in Windward O, here is Behind the Wheel.
Recent events shed light on the importance of safe driving and how to take responsibility of yourself and other passengers when behind the wheel and on the street. The state of Hawaii is no stranger to the consequences of irresponsible driving, with a rate of close to 10,000 serious car accidents annually. Drivers need to be responsible because the choices they make on the road can influence and impact not just themselves, but those around them. One aspect of irresponsible driving is driving under the influence, which can dangerously put the lives of other people at risk.
Kaka, it brought back memories for myself and my wife, because we know exactly what these people are going through right now. The initial shock, the unbelief, don't want to believe that it happened. So when we saw that, our hearts, it just brought us to back the day that it happened for myself and my wife. Kamalani is my third youngest daughter, biological daughter. She was someone that you would love to hang out with. that you would love to be around with?
She was an amazing child, very easygoing, very smart. She was a 4-star gold dolphin at Kainalu Elementary in 6th grade. And she was in her 8th grade final year when the accident happened.
Well, I'd like to go back 6 years ago. My life had changed drastically. On May 5th, 2013, my daughter was killed, Kamalani was killed in a car accident, drunk driver. She was with her friend and her friend's father. On the way home from Waikiki, they got into the accident up in the Pali.
According to the Department of Transportation, in 2017, more than half of drivers involved in fatal crashes in Hawaii had tested positive for alcohol and/or drugs, accounting for 73 deaths.
All it takes is one time to just destroy someone's life. It's still affecting us in our lives today. It's never going to go away.
When getting behind the wheel, it becomes your kuleana to remain focused and clear-headed. Making the conscious choice to not get behind the wheel when intoxicated can ultimately save lives. To avoid drunk driving, you can call for a ride from a friend or from a driving service, take responsibility, and drive safely. This is Sora Chang from Kalāheo High School for HIKI No.
For Kalāheo High School story, we chose to do the story on a tragic death that happened in my family, which was the death of my sister due to a drunk driving crash.
Editing this piece was very hard for me because I've known Kahau for such a long time. I've seen her go through her sister's accident and everything.
My role in the production was that I was the cameraman and I actually interviewed my parents. It was just really awkward at first, but after a while, it felt like my bond grew closer with my parents, and now they're really proud of what we made. My way of dealing with her death is to share it, you know, and I want people to know that, and I want people to get to know her story and get to know what happened and how that can affect my life and how it can affect yours.
I think it was very important for us to tell the story, properly and convey it in a respectful manner so we could get the word out there about the reality of drunk driving.
What I learned from working on this project was to never take life for granted.
A job well done is always inspiring to me, especially if it's a task that I myself would have no idea how to approach. I don't know the first thing about saddling a horse, but the following how-to video from Hawaii Preparatory Academy Middle School on Hawaii Island makes it look oh so easy.
Did you know that in rodeo, there are different saddles for different events? Putting on your saddle correctly is important and vital for competing safely and efficiently.
First things first, tie your horse to the trailer using a slip knot. Then, go and get your pad. And your saddle. The next thing you want to do is reach under the horse and grab the cinch. String the latigo through the buckle on the cinch, and then string it through the saddle and back once more. Hook the latigo onto the buckle so that the saddle doesn't move. Reach under the horse and grab the back cinch. Then buckle it to the leather strap. Reach around the front of the horse and grab the breast collar. String the leather strap through the metal ring on the front of the saddle. Then buckle the strap to the buckle. Clip the strap to the ring on the cinch. The Paniolo, or the Hawaiian Cowboys, are greatly known all over the world, especially with the fame and talent of Waimea's very own Ikua Purdy, who in 1908 won the World Steer Roping Championships in Cheyenne, Wyoming. This is Leah Craven from Hawaii Preparatory Academy for HIKI No.
Stories about cancer survivors are, by their nature, very inspiring. But stories about children who survived cancer are in a league of their own. Here is one such story, 1 in a million, from students at Evamakai Middle School on Oahu.
Lily Mallory is an 8th grader at Evamakai Middle School. At just 3 years old, she was diagnosed with cancer. She had a sarcoma in her leg and adrenocortical carcinoma. Adrenocortical carcinoma is an aggressive cancer originating in the adrenal gland or kidney.
Well, I don't quite remember much since I was 3 years old, but I know that I was like crying a lot, and all I could like comprehend was that I was feeling sick and it just didn't feel good.
Cancer can be found in any type or place in your body, but the most prevalent ones are breast cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer.
She actually had a pretty large tumor, and for a tumor that large, the chance of survival wasn't that great. So it was a pretty scary time.
Ryan Robeson is a teacher at Maui Middle School. Similar to Lily, his daughter, Emmy, was diagnosed with leukemia at just 7 years old.
I was writing. I also make animations. So I made an animation just kind of projecting what I wanted them for my kids to watch, and to kind of project that feeling of overcoming the cancer. I designed video games, so I made video games for them. Again, you're destroying all the cancer and projecting that image.
Cancer affects pretty much everyone. 1 in 2 males are affected by cancer, and 1 in 3 females are affected by cancer in their lifetime. So for me, it's really important to let people know of all the things that they can do to prevent cancer and to catch it early.
Hopefully she continues to stay cancer-free, but it was definitely a long year of chemotherapy, and she did great and knocked it out of the park.
Lily spent over a year in treatment with up to a week straight in the hospital. Her family was by her side throughout her journey and kept hope alive in times of fear.
I learned that if you really want something, you gotta work hard for it, and even if you have like hard things that you're going through, and that life is short and you really have to do what you want before you don't have enough time.
Like most children, Lily is growing up without having to worry about cancer. Through the support of her family, was she able to conquer cancer to its roots. There may be many cancer survivors in the world, but to the Mallory family, Lily's life and journey is 1 in a million. This is Lucas Roberts from Maui Middle School for HIKI No.
Stories of people who overcome physical disabilities are certainly inspiring. But every once in a great while, there is that rare story in which a person who has something taken away from them that leaves them disabled comes back to help that very entity that caused their disability. Here is that rare type of story, Shark Ambassador, by Chiefs Kamakahele Middle School on Kauai.
I mean, statistically, you could say that a shark attack is a lot larger than 1 in a million. I think there's also, every 3 days, there's 1 million sharks being killed for their fins, and every day there's not a shark attack. I think those numbers just say alone how lopsided the conversation is about shark attacks and about the health of sharks in our oceans.
Mike Coots is a local surfer, photographer, and a shark ambassador from Kilauea, Kauai.
I became an advocate for sharks basically in 1 hour. I was watching a YouTube video called Shark Water by Rob Stewart, and I was completely blown away by what we were doing to sharks. There was a number that came on the video. It was about halfway through, and it said 70 to 100 million sharks a year are killed for their fins, for shark fin soup, and I saw that figure and I did like 5 rewinds. I was like, this can't be right. This number is absolutely insane. And I'm not a scientist. I haven't studied really science in college, but just that number alone, you know that can't be healthy for our waters.
He has used his passion for sharks to protect them.
I have a pretty active social media platform. I try to get the word out that sharks aren't these sort of killers that just will attack anything. I've used the irony of my situation to be able to get into policymakers' doors. I've spoken to Congress, I've spoken to the United Nations, I've helped draft legislature here in Hawaii with our state senators.
The irony Mike is referring to lies beneath an event that happens to 1 in a million people. Well, actually 1 in 11 million people.
I remember as soon as my fingertips brushed the surface of the water, a large tiger shark came up from underneath me and grabbed onto my legs. I knew I was getting attacked by a shark because I could see it right in my chest, and I tried taking my right hand and out of instinct I tried getting my legs out of its mouth, and that didn't work, and it started doing this real slow motion swaying back and forth, and I remember immense pressure on my legs. With my left hand I just started punching it in the head a couple times, and I think I hit it a good 3 times in the snout, and it let go and released its grip on my legs.
He hasn't let his disability bring him down and always looks to the positive side of things.
Losing my leg to a shark has definitely changed my life. It's changed it for the better. It's brought me incredible experiences. I've been able to travel places, meet amazing people, do things I don't think I would have done otherwise. It's also made life more challenging. That's the honest truth, just day in and day out with a prosthetic leg. It's a little bit more difficult, but you just learn to adapt. And things that you think you can't do and you can do it with your prosthetic and you realize you can do, it's pretty rewarding and fulfilling. And you sort of build on these little challenges, and after a while it sort of defines who you are and you really think there's nothing you can't do.
Mike Coots is truly unique. Through using his disability, he has helped save the very thing that took his leg. This is Gabriel Go from Chief's Kamakahele Middle School for HIKI no.
It's always inspiring to see how certain people or organizations come up with innovative ways to help people in need. During the partial government shutdown, a Maui food truck owner came up with an out-of-the-box way to help feed government workers who were affected by the shutdown. Here is his story, paid forward by students from Maui Waena Intermediate School in Kahului.
So people leave like $1, $2, you know, like they get their change.
5 years ago, when we started Maui Fresh Streetery, we really wanted to be part of our community. And we didn't want to be just another fly-by-night food truck. And to do that, we started something called our Aloha Tip Jar. It's a little jar that sits out in front of our truck, and when people like our service or like our food, they can leave a tip in the jar. But instead of keeping that tips at the end of the month, we donate them to different nonprofits here on Maui, whether it be families in need, children fighting cancer, community clubs and organizations.
Although the Aloha Tip Jar does support the community, it finally found a challenge that change couldn't conquer.
When the government shut down the later part of last year, we thought, how can we help these people that weren't going to be getting their paychecks? And the problem was too big for our tip jar, meaning we couldn't collect enough tips to give to all of the different workers. And so we thought, how can we help everybody that's affected? And so I had seen something called Pay It Forward, and how it works is we have a board and we put up the very first 5 meals. We offered 5 meals to any federal worker that was not getting a paycheck, and they could come in and take a tag off the board and redeem it for a free meal. 3 to 4 week period.
You have 4 bowls, yeah?
When the shutdown was occurring, we had over 500 meals donated. I think we've fed almost 450, if not more, federal workers and families in need.
Chef Kyle and his food truck were guided by more than just the desire to help the community. He was driven by his kuleana.
So to have someone think about us, especially during these kind of trying times, is really, really thoughtful and appreciative.
Kuleana is an interesting word. We oftentimes refer to it as our responsibility. Being a small business owner here in Maui County, it's our responsibility to take care of our community, our ohanas, our families.
Not only do these actions benefit the community, they build a community.
All of the things that we do to give back to our community, whether it be through our Aloha Tip Jar or our Pay It Forward board, are very rewarding for me because it gives me a sense of belonging to our community.
This is Holden Suzuki from Maui Waena Intermediate School for HIKI no.
In our final story, a Hawaii-based figure skater manages to excel at a national level, with only one ice skating rink in the entire state. That's impressive, but her loyalty to a state that offers very few resources and opportunities for her sport, now that's inspiring. From Maui High School on Oahu, here is Skating for the Islands.
Well, I ultimately would love to go to the Olympics, of course, and compete and represent Hawaiʻi and everything. But realistically, that isn't exactly possible.
Kyra Fukumoto, a senior at Maui High School, is pursuing her passion of figure skating, no matter the route she has to take.
After college, then I definitely would go straight into auditioning for professional ice skating shows. I want to tour the world through ice skating.
I wish everybody would practice like Kyra, because Kyra would take my critiques and then actually go and work on them after the lesson.
It's my passion, no matter what. I need it to live. I love that it's so unique for Hawaii because I don't like to be just like everyone else.
With only one ice rink in Hawaii to practice at, Kyra is willing to do whatever it takes to fulfill her dreams.
To help improve my skills, I do fly to the mainland every single break so that way I can get more intensive coaching up there to help improve my skating.
She's a little different from everybody, I would say. It's nice because she's very well-rounded. She's got really nice spins. She's got really nice jumps. And everything in between is also very nice. And then you put the good attitude and work ethic in there. And it's a nice, really good combination. And I hope she uses it to take her wherever she really wants to go.
With all her training and a never-say-never attitude, Kyra sees her dream being something bigger than just herself.
They always say that, oh, if I moved here, then I could, get so much better. I could, go this far. But I wanted to do it my way and stay here so that I can finish graduating here and, be able to say that I was born and raised. This is home. It will always be home. I love Hawaii. I have so much pride being here, being from here. And I just want to be able to show people that just because I'm from Hawaii doesn't mean that I can't do everything that they can do. I can work really hard and get to where everyone else is.
No matter how many loops or jumps Kyra goes through, representing her home and making it big on the ice will always be her dream. This is Maui Fukumoto from Maui High School for HIKI No.
I hope you've enjoyed watching these stellar HIKI No stories from the winter quarter of the 2018-2019 school year, as much as I've enjoyed sharing them with you. As a former HIKI No student facing the challenges of charting my career path in science, these HIKI No stories inspire me to follow my dream, no matter what obstacles come my way. The work of all HIKI No students inspires us to believe that we, HIKI No, can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI No.